I just got back from Burning Man. Holy cow! What an unbelievable adventure that was. I can't even describe it. I showed you some of the videos, but you just have no idea. It was crazy. It really was. Everything you can think of is going on out there. And I mean, everything you can think of is going on out there. Some things you can't wait to see. Some things you don't want to see.
We'll see it.
But you're forced to.
Based on what I've heard from that festival, that sums it up.
It's not a festival.
Oh, sorry.
It is not a festival.
Based on that event.
Event
description.
Fine. We call it. It's my first time going. A celebration of art is what it is.
Yes.
And it really is. It's all art. Everywhere is art now. Art's in the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So art's in the eye of the beholder, and what's considered art is the eye of the beholder. But everything out there really is based on art. Like I showed you, those cars that are those crazy gigantic things but the art is beautiful on them. I mean, they must take a year to build these things. At least, and some of it's as simple as really pretty LED lights in the shape of like a seahorse and stuff like that. So there's all everything in between.
So is it like? Does it get spectacular at night and it's just horrible during the day, or like? Yeah,
so I wouldn't use the word horrible.
Okay.
Although there are times I would use the word horrible. So I would say
I'm going to say it's a desert.
I would say
during the daytime.
It is a desert without question, and the sand and the dust is it's pretty crazy. It's actually a little overwhelming with the dust sometimes. But I would say this: in the mornings where most people aren't up because they've been out all night partying. Mm-hmm. I'm not that guy to party all night. Not anymore. Not at my age, right? But I would get up sometimes. Well, the first couple of days, got up like 6, 7 in the morning just because of East Coast time, right? It's 3 hours difference over there. So my East Coast time would West Coast 3 hours earlier. I'm up at like 6, 7 in the morning, and it's absolutely gorgeous out. Just gorgeous, like nice 50 degrees, 55 degrees. I probably walked a good 3-4 miles around different camps, seeing what people were doing with their camps. People are serving breakfast, coffee, juices. Like, oh, this is so cool because it's like a community, right? You don't pay for anything out there, except for ice. You have to buy ice if you want ice, right? And whatever. But everything else is like people just give it to you. It's like really cool. And then around like 10, 11 o'clock, it starts getting warmer, but not intrusively hot. So you start talking, meeting people and such. But then around noon, 12:30. That's when the sun's like, yeah, I got you, buddy.
It's got to be unbearable.
Right? It's that Super Mario 3 where the sun's trying to kill you. That's the desert. Damn. From like 12:30 to about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Okay.
It gets pretty bad. Like you
so
really
like
need to
seek shelter, shade.
Seek shelter if you can. Mm-hmm. A lot of places were set up in really cool spots where it'd be nice and shady, and then they like their entire camp was to provide shade and comfort for people during that time, right? And they had like beds and pillows, beds, and things for people to set up where you can just kind of lay down. And it was positioned so like a breeze would come through. It was kind of nice. And so as long as you could avoid that time of day, and then around 5:30, 6 o'clock, as the sun starts going down, it gets nicer. And then around 8:30, 9 o'clock is when the sun is down.
Right.
And that's where the dream world begins,
everything
my friend.
Comes, oh, yeah.
The first night I stepped onto the playa, which is where all the art and festivities and everything's going on, my buddy and I was both our first time, we're called first virgins or first time burners or whatever. We stepped out onto that playa, and the both of us just had our jaws were just like, I could not believe what I was looking at. I mean, imagine a city the size of Las Vegas, right?
Right.
Where every square inch of it is covered in some type of light, moving object, people on bikes, people themselves with LEDs all over them, there's lights glowing, and 100, maybe 150 different of these art vehicles that are enormous, playing different music, different DJs, everything's all over. It was unbelievable. I could not believe what I was looking at. And it's so big. It's huge.
In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And you don't have buildings like in Vegas obstructing your view.
Right.
You have this clear line of sight to the complete opposite side. And it's the entire desert is just covered in lights. Oh my God, it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. And that alone was worth going out there to experience just that piece. Mm-hmm. I went from Saturday through Sunday. So, well, Saturday through the following Sunday because I wanted to get there early to help set up the camp.
Yep.
But everything really begins on Sunday. And then, but if and when I go back, I'll probably do a shorter run, like probably like Wednesday through Sunday or Monday or something like that. It was just a little long for me.
It is.
But my God, was it incredible! And then the end of it on Saturday when they do the actual Burning Man. I showed you the video for that too.
Did.
Holy cow, was that incredible! Like I literally thought they were just going to put this thing on fire and like everyone's cheering and stuff. They blew that bastard up. I mean, you saw the mushroom cloud out of the explosion that came. What I didn't show you was the video.
More than a couple of gallons of gasoline.
Oh my God, it was insane. And then it took about an hour for like everything to fall down and fall apart. Yep. And then once it got to a baseline of about 3 to 4 feet on the flames, the guards let everyone come in. And for the rest of the night, people are just running around the flames. Like it's apparently it's a thing they do. It's a tradition.
Okay.
I was just like, what are these people doing? There's a lot of them just getting naked and just running around the flame. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
That's funny.
It was awesome. I'd love to do it again. Timing, it just kind of worked out timing wise this time, but it's definitely something you got to prepare for. That desert is no joke.
It's a commitment.
It really is. We got lucky. Again, we had like maybe one small dust storm for a couple hours, maybe.
So I've got a question.
Yeah.
Who ends up making money off of this?
It's nonprofit. So apparently it's a nonprofit organization that runs this. It's not about making money.
So they just fundraise throughout the year and sell tickets and
the tickets. That. I mean, there's 70,000 people.
Yeah.
$500 a ticket. That's millions and millions of dollars.
So that's what they use to then, do
because
all
think
the
about
basics.
it. All they really need to do is, I mean, the organization as far as like organizing the event. I gotta tell you, it's pretty spectacular. They do a hell of a job getting people in and out, which is really difficult. I'm just setting up the camps and everything like that. But realistically, other than the organization, the porta potties, stuff like that, there's not much to it because the infrastructure is all built by the people. It's a city of people.
Can you imagine a buddy comes over to your house and goes, I have an idea. What is it? I want to put something up in the desert.
Oh, I have the story.
With porta potties, and then we're going to set something on fire, and we're all going to go hang out there for a week.
So for anyone who knows the actual story of Burning Man, if I get this wrong, please let us know. Yeah. This is what was explained to me.
Okay.
A guy named Larry, I can never remember his last name, just got out of a bad relationship. And he and a couple of friends went to the beach somewhere in California. I forget the name of the beach that they went to.
Okay.
And he built this little structure. It wasn't nearly as big as the one that's there now. And they burned it after partying all night. And then they decided they were going to do it every year. And they did it for like 5 or 6 years. And eventually the police, and it got bigger and bigger every year. Went from like 5 people to 10 to 30.
Right.
And eventually the police were like, look, you can't keep doing this, right? So they took a year off. Figured out what are they going to do. Somehow, someone said, "Hey, here's a great idea. Let's go in the middle of the desert." Right?
Yeah, that's
where the dust
idea.
is so fine that 2 years later you're still going to find it in your clothes.
Yes.
And let's go do it out there. And it just grew and grew and grew. From what I understand, it was like in the mid 90s, early mid 90s, like 93, 94, it was like, 5, 6, 7,000 people. And then one year just went from like 7,000 to 20,000. Wow. And then 20 to 30. And now it's up to, last year it was like 80,000 people. But then there was problems with the rains last year. So a lot of people didn't go this year. So this year was like 67, 70. Okay. That's a hell of a lot of people.
But it's still, I mean, it's funny because this is how businesses grow too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like this is how everything grows.
Right.
It starts with an idea and some guy doing something because he had a bad breakup, it sounds like.
So that's the story I was told. I don't know. I want to read the book eventually.
And that eventually turns into a festival of 70,000 people in the middle of a desert.
Yeah,
right?
no kidding.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's everybody you can think of. I mean, everybody from an attorney like me who's very conservative in nature. Like, I don't get naked and go out there. A lot of people do. I never understood that part, but sure, we're in the desert. Do you.
Whatever floats your boat.
And
right?
so everything in between, man. It was quite the experience.
Are there like cops and
fire
department?
Oh yeah,
and,
there's federal rangers out there.
So they literally build an entire town
From scratch.
That hosts this event for 7 days.
Yes.
So it hosts the event. I'm not saying it doesn't go. They probably need longer preparation.
A little before, a little after,
and clean up, like whatever.
Well,
right?
apparently, cleanup's like a couple of months.
Okay.
Yeah. So the big thing is we say leave no trace, right? Which is, and I've seen pictures, the before and after pictures. You'll see before, nothing there. Whole city emerges. I mean, you're talking 80,000 people, right? There's trash, there's things like that. When everyone leaves, there's nothing there. It's like it never happened. It's not like these other music festivals and stuff where there's trash everywhere and porta potties. It's not like that. Everything is cleaned up. When we left our camp, now I left a couple days before the camp was officially closed.
Yep.
But all the trash was cleaned up. Everything was taken away. You don't see, and I've seen people do this where, number one, if you see something laying on the ground, people will pick it up, put it in their pocket until they find a trash can or not. No, there's no trash cans. You have your own trash bags or whatever. I saw people, they came to our camp for a happy hour, and I was outside trying to bring people in, and somebody dropped something that had like some substance on it, right? And it wasn't meant to be on the ground. It's called MOOP, M-O-O-P. It's like this, whatever, organic material, whatever. And like 6 people spent 5 minutes cleaning up that area about this big to make sure that that area was cleaned and that the non-organic material wasn't there.
All right.
That's how serious they take it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.